The Multiverse by Black_Bolt. 1.7K672. It's hard to believe it's already been a year since we formed the clan. Now, our once small group has grown to 36 members. Some faces are new to me, thanks to my chaotic presence causing a bit of timeline confusion, but thankfully, all the original members are still here. But you know what, it doesn't bother me one bit. Every single member, new or old, has become like family to me. Especially the first 9, since I've known them the longest. In this past year, we've been through a lot together. Most of us have hit level 100 by now, and those who haven't are pretty close. We've also collected a ton of materials and items during our adventures. Overall, it's been quite the journey, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. Who knew that forming a clan would lead to so many unforgettable experiences? From epic battles to hilarious mishaps, we've shared it all. There was that time when Overlord accidentally set fire to our enemy camp while he was calling support, or when Blue Planet got mind-controlled by Tree Fairy. And let's not forget the countless hours we spent strategizing and planning our next move. But it's not just the adventures that have made this past year so special. It's the bonds we've formed along the way. Whether we're battling monsters or just hanging out at our base, there's always laughter and camaraderie. And through it all, Touch Me has been there to lead us with wisdom and grace. He may not have wanted to be the leader at first, but he's proven time and time again that he is a great leader. As for me, well, I may not be the official leader of the clan, but most of the decision within the clan is made by me or Touch Me. Ah, the discovery of the mining spot in Nidavellir was truly a stroke of luck for our clan. As soon as we stumbled upon it, we wasted no time in monopolizing the mine, knowing it would become our main source of materials for crafting equipment and other essentials. It took us a whole month to clean out the mine, but it was worth every minute. We were fortunate that no one else had stumbled upon it before us, sparing us from any potential conflicts. The resources we extracted from the mine were invaluable to our clan's growth. We made sure to distribute them equally among all members, knowing that everyone had their own projects in mind for crafting and upgrading equipment. Well, everyone except me, that is. You see, while the others were eager to get their hands on as many materials as possible, I had a different perspective. Sure, I had plenty of equipment that could use an upgrade or two, but what I really needed was more free time. So when the clan tried to give me my share of the materials, I politely declined. I told them they needed it more than I did, and that they should put it to good use for the benefit of the entire clan. It may seem a bit unconventional, but to me, it was nothing. There was a day when tensions ran high within the clan. Touch Me and another member had a serious disagreement, which escalated into a heated argument. Eventually, the other member decided to leave the clan and even quit playing the game altogether. The fallout from this incident cast a shadow over the entire clan, creating a somber and awkward atmosphere among the members. It was a difficult time for everyone, and the internal conflict left deep emotional scars on some of the members. Despite the turmoil, I tried my best to lighten the mood and ease the tension. I cracked jokes and made efforts to break the ice between the members, hoping to restore some sense of normalcy to our interactions. I also made a point to reach out to Momonga and Touch Me, knowing that they were particularly affected by what had transpired. I offered them my support and a listening ear, hoping to help them through their struggles. For some of us, it felt like a dark stain on the otherwise vibrant tapestry of our clan's history. Even though the conflict had blown over, Touch Me couldn't shake off the guilt that lingered like a stubborn stain. It weighed on him like a backpack full of rocks, dragging him down with every step. Despite the rest of the clan moving on, I could still see the worry etched on Touch Me's face. Momonga and Pero Roncino noticed it too, but whenever they asked him about it, he'd just brush it off with a wave of his hand, insisting there was nothing to worry about. But even as Touch Me struggled with his guilt, life in the clan went on as usual. We returned to our daily routines, like a well-oiled machine clicking back into gear after a hiccup. It was as if we collectively decided to sweep the whole ordeal under the rug and pretend it never happened. And you know what, maybe that was for the best. Sometimes, it's easier to move forward when you leave the past behind. We all had bigger fish to fry, like leveling up our characters and conquering new challenges in the game. So, despite the bumps in the road, we kept marching forward, united as a clan. Tilde. Leave at least one Overlord, the multiverse by Black_Bolt. 1.6K264. In Helheim, 900AL Gown Base. Alright, now that we've settled who's going to lead the next raiding party, it's time to hear what Nishikienrai has discovered, Touch Me announced, gesturing for Nishikienrai to step forward. As Nishikienrai rose from his seat and made his way to the front, a sense of anticipation filled the air. We all leaned in, eager to hear what he had to say. Nishikienrai took a moment to compose himself before speaking, his voice tinged with excitement. While exploring the middle region of Helheim, I stumbled upon an untouched dungeon. It's fresh, untouched, and ripe for the taking. Just imagine, this could be our chance to establish our own clan base. His words were met with a chorus of enthusiastic cheers and applause from the clan members. But amidst the excitement, a small voice whispered in the back of my mind. So, the time has come, I thought to myself, preparing for what lay ahead. Touch Me wasted no time in getting down to business. Where exactly is this dungeon located? He asked eagerly, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. It's in the Dark Plain region, approximately 100 meters away from the Dark Swamp. The area is known as the Poisonous Swamp, Nishikienrai replied, his excitement palpable. As I listened to their conversation, a plan began to form in my mind. This dungeon is the key to New World, so I need to execute the raid with perfection. I will lead the raiding party, I announced, my voice firm and resolute. Touch Me and the rest of the clan turned to me, their expressions as that of surprise. It's rare to see you taking lead on anything, Alex, isn't your motto go solo or stay dead? Albert said. I may prefer flying solo, but I also know when to step up for the greater good, I replied, a hint of amusement in my voice. And besides, this dungeon is too good an opportunity to pass up. We need to approach it with a solid plan if we want to succeed. Touch Me nodded in agreement, his expression showing that he respected my decision. I trust your judgment, Alexander. Lead us to victory, he said, his tone filled with confidence. Nishikienrai, please provide all the details about the dungeon that you have obtained so far, I requested, eager to hear what he had discovered. Nishiki and Rai began to relay the information he had gathered. The dungeon has been the target of numerous invasion attempts, but all of them have been repelled without exception, he explained. The only successful attack that ever reached above the 6th floor was carried out by a guild alliance aided by mercenary NPCs. He continued, it's identified as a simultaneous attack dungeon, which means it's the hardest kind. It requires 5 parties to progress through it, each facing their own set of challenges. Our goal is to defeat each of the 5 rulers guarding the dungeon. As Nishiki and Rai detailed the challenges of the dungeon, Albert couldn't resist interjecting with his signature brand of humor. So, what you're saying is, we're basically walking into a death trap with a welcome sign, he remarked, earning a chuckle from the rest of the clan. I couldn't help but smile at Albert's jest, appreciating his ability to lighten the mood even in the face of danger. Well, if anyone can turn a death trap into a walk in the park, it's us, I quipped back, eliciting a round of laughter from the group. Now, what our plan of attack, Alexander? Blue Planet asked. I began, outlining our strategy. We'll divide the members into 6 teams. Attackers, defenders, magic casters, summoners, ranger and support. For the attackers, we'll need our strongest fighters who can deal heavy damage and take on the dungeon's toughest foes head-on. Defenders will focus on protecting the team and holding the line against enemy assaults. Magic casters will provide ranged support and crowd control, while summoners will summon powerful allies to aid us in battle. Rangers will provide ranged support, picking off enemies from a distance. And lastly, our support team will keep us healed and buffed throughout the raid. Blue Planet nodded in agreement. That sounds like a solid plan, but how do we decide who goes in which team? We'll assess everyone's strengths and preferences, then assign roles accordingly, I replied. But I have picked the leaders for the 6 divisions. Touch me, you'll lead the defense team, I announced, turning to our Sliver Warrior. With your exceptional defense stats, you'll be able to hold the line and protect our team from enemy assaults. Touch me nodded, his expression determined. I won't let you down, he vowed. Warrior Takemikazuki, you'll lead the attack team, I continued, addressing our powerhouse attacker. With your formidable physical strength, you'll be our vanguard in battle, leading the charge against our enemies. Warrior Takemikazuki grinned confidently. Consider it done, he declared, flexing his muscles for emphasis. As for the Rangers, Pero Roncino was the obvious choice. Pero Roncino, your expertise in archery and keen eye for detail make you the ideal leader for our Ranger team. Your precision and accuracy will be instrumental in picking off enemies from a distance. Hope I can soon start a harem, Pero Roncino said. Well, let's focus on raiding the dungeon first, and then maybe you can pursue your harem dreams, I replied with a playful grin. Pero Roncino laughed. Fair enough, but a man can dream, can't he? Momonga, you'll take charge of the summoning team, I said, turning to our skilled necromancer and the Overlord. Your ability to summon powerful allies will provide us with invaluable support on the battlefield. Momonga nodded solemnly. I'll summon the deadliest minions to fight by our side, he promised. Albert, you'll lead the magic casting team, I stated, addressing our formidable mage. Your mastery of magic will be crucial in controlling the battlefield and dealing devastating blows to our enemies. Albert smirked, a glint of mischief in his eyes. Prepare to witness the full extent of the demon of great disaster, he said with confidence. And last but not least, variable talisman, you'll lead the support team, I concluded, turning to our versatile supporter. Your ability to provide healing and buffs will keep our team in top condition throughout the raid. Variable talisman nodded gratefully. I'll make sure to keep everyone patched up and ready for action, they assured. And Blue Planet, you will be the co-commander of the raiding team. Ah, Alexander, thank you for the honor, Blue Planet responded. And with that, our clan set out on our most daring adventure yet, ready to conquer the unconquered dungeon. With me here, victory is just a side quest. Tilde tilde tilde. In my patron, gaming arc in high school, the XD arc ended and Demon Slayer arc just started. Give me your opinion and criticism about the chapter. I can only improve my story if you point out what is wrong and what is needed to change. And leave at least one comment. Chapter 38, Ainzul Gown. Overlord, the multiverse by Black_Bolt. 1.7K664. Alright, it's settled. I have an important announcement to make, declared Touch Me, rising from his seat with an air of solemnity. The entire clan turned their attention towards him, but instead of speaking right away, Touch Me paused dramatically, letting the tension build. After what felt like an eternity, Touch Me cleared his throat and began to speak, his voice steady but serious. I'm thinking of dissolving the clan. The announcement hung in the air, and for a moment, silence reigned supreme. Then, as if on cue, chaos erupted. As Touch Me made his unexpected announcement, the tension in the room skyrocketed faster than a newbie's heart rate during their first PvP match. The silence that followed was as thick as Pero Roncino's plot to start a harem, and just as awkward. Then, with all the dramatic flair of a villain revealing their evil plan, Touch Me finally spoke up. I'm thinking of dissolving the clan. Cue the chaos. Albert, ever the master of sarcasm, wasted no time in throwing shade. Oh, what a surprise. Did your wifey leave you this morning because of your hero complex? Is that why you're dissolving the clan? He quipped, earning a collective gasp from the clan members. But Touch Me wasn't about to let Albert's jabs go unanswered. With a smirk, he fired back, at least I have a wifey, unlike someone who's married to his ego. Albert raised an eyebrow, clearly unimpressed. Touché, but at least my ego doesn't crumble under pressure like someone's leadership skills, he retorted, the banter heating up faster than Blue Planet's fiery magic attacks. Meanwhile, Momonga, ever the mediator, attempted to diffuse the tension. Guys, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Maybe Touch Me has a valid reason for wanting to dissolve the clan, he suggested, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to the verbal sparring happening around him. But before anyone could respond, Warrior Takemikazuki chimed in with his own brand of humor. Well, if the clan dissolves, at least we won't have to deal with Touch Me's obsession with justice anymore, he joked, earning a round of laughter from the clan members. Touch Me rolled his eyes playfully. Hey, justice isn't an obsession, it's a way of life, he quipped back, the tension in the room easing slightly as the clan members settled into a rhythm of playful banter. So tell me, Touch Me, why do you mean by devolving the clan? I asked. He explained that at this point, they can hardly be called a clan any longer. So what he's planning is, he wants to upgrade themselves by creating a guild of their own. The timing is quite good too, since if they're successful with their upcoming raid, then they will gain their very own guild base immediately. So that's why I wanted to dissolve the clan, so we can create a guild. Everyone, what do you think about that? Touch Me ended his explanation as he asked his clanmate's opinion about his idea. Albert chimed in, unable to resist adding his signature wit to the conversation. I guess it's time we upgrade from being a ragtag group of misfits to a full-fledged guild of misfits. I couldn't help but chuckle at Albert's remark, nodding in agreement. Yeah, I suppose it's time we put on our big boy pants and join the big leagues. After Touch Me's proposal, the atmosphere among the clan members shifted from uncertainty to excitement. The creation of a guild had been a topic of discussion for some time, so everyone was relieved that Touch Me had brought it up. Naturally, the idea was met with unanimous agreement. It seemed that all of us had been eagerly awaiting this moment, and now that it had arrived, we wasted no time in planning and discussing the details of our new guild. As for me, I had been anticipating this moment for what felt like ages, so I readily agreed to Touch Me's proposal. However, Touch Me's next announcement caught most us all off guard, excluding me. He expressed his intention to step down as leader, citing the past incident that had caused discord within the clan. It was clear that he felt responsible for what had transpired, and he didn't want history to repeat itself. Instead, he proposed that I take on the role of guild leader. His reasoning was sound. I was a founding member of Nine's Own Goal, a skilled player, and had strong relationships with all of us. When Touch Me turned to me and asked for my opinion, I couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement and responsibility. This was the moment I had been waiting for, the opportunity to lead my friends on a new adventure. With practiced dramatic flair, I stepped forward and delivered my carefully rehearsed Chunabyu line. It is my honor to become the leader of this new guild and guide my fellow heteromorphs to new heights that you never dreamed of before, and to crush any obstacles that stand in our way. The reaction from my clanmates was a mix of amusement and encouragement, and I couldn't help but feel a swell of pride at their support. Wish Death was here with me to see this. After my speech, we turned our attention to choosing a name for our guild. After much deliberation, we settled on the name, Ainsul Gown, a nod to our shared history and the adventures that lay ahead of us. With our guild officially formed and me at the helm, we were ready to embark on the next chapter of our journey in Yggdrasil. Tilde. In my patron, gaming arc in high school DxD arc ended and Demon Slayer arc just started. Give me your opinion and criticism about the chapter. I can only improve my story if you point out what is wrong and what is needed to change. And leave at least one comment and review if you like my fanfic. In my Patreon. Chapter 39, Dungeon. Overlord, the Multiverse by Black_Bolt. 1.7K 462. As we stood on the edge of the poisonous swamp, ready to venture into the unknown. Touch Me's look at me. It seems like you are awfully excited for raiding the dungeon. Well, you know me, Touch Me, I replied with a sheepish grin. Adventure is my middle name. Touch Me laughed, shaking his head. I don't think Adventure is actually your middle name. I think Fearless is your middle name. I chuckled at Touch Me's quip. Well, you've got me there, I admitted, adjusting the strap of my gear. But hey, what's life without a little thrill, right? Touch Me nodded in agreement, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. Couldn't have said it better myself, he replied, his voice filled with excitement. So, leader, what's our mode of operation? Full-blown attack and retreat, or something more spicy? Albert asked. I grinned at Albert's question, appreciating his flair for the dramatic even in the face of danger. Well, Albert, I was thinking we could mix things up a bit, I replied, tapping my chin thoughtfully. How about a little of everything? We'll start with a full-blown attack to catch them off guard, then switch to hit-and-run tactics to keep them on their toes. And if things get really spicy, we'll throw in a dash of magic for good measure. Albert couldn't resist adding his own 2 cents, of course. Oh, great, now we're all going to die in the most creative ways possible, he quipped, earning an exaggerated eye roll from Touch Me. Well, if I'm leading us to our demise, at least it'll be a memorable one, I retorted with a grin, eliciting a few laughs from the clan. Blue Planet, ever the voice of reason, chimed in with a word of caution. Just don't lead us into any bottomless pits, okay? My inventory's already full, and I don't need any more accidental deaths, he joked, earning a round of nods and chuckles from the group. With our preparations complete and our spirits high, we ventured into the murky depths of the dungeon, our laughter echoing through the eerie silence. As we encountered obstacles and challenges along the way, I made sure to keep the mood light with a well-timed joke or two. Watch out for the giant spiders, everyone, I called out, my tone mock serious. They've been known to have a penchant for fashion, so don't be surprised if they critique your armor choices. After bashing our way through a bunch of monsters and undead, we finally made it to the entrance of the first big boss room. The door was huge, I mean, seriously massive. It made me wonder if the boss inside had some sort of size complex or something. Now, then, it seems like we will split here, I said to rest of the team. You sure about this? Blue Planet asked. Absolutely, I replied with a nod. With that I entered the boss room for 1vs1 showdown. As Alexander stepped into the boss room, Albert couldn't resist a mischievous grin. The bet is on, he declared with a twinkle in his eye, his tone filled with playful anticipation. The rest of the team chuckled, amused by Albert's antics. You really think he's going to be the first one to get knocked out? Touch Me teased, nudging Albert with his elbow. Albert shrugged, still grinning. Hey, anything can happen in there. And besides, it's all in good fun. Come on, let's be real here. Half the fun of these raids is watching someone trip up, right? He teased, nudging Blue Planet playfully. Touch Me chuckled, unable to hide a smirk. I guess there's a little truth to that, he admitted, shooting a playful glance at Warrior Takamikazuki. Warrior Takamikazuki shrugged, a grin tugging at his lips. Hey, as long as it's not me getting skewered by the boss, I'm game for some entertainment. Enough with the chatter, let's get moving, Blue Planet said. Meanwhile, inside the boss room, I was sizing up the massive creature before me. A towering monstrosity with gnarled horns and glowing red eyes. As I faced the towering creature before me, I couldn't help but marvel at its sheer size. Looks like a steroid version of a vampire to me, I muttered under my breath, eyeing the creature's gnarled horns and glowing red eyes. With a smirk, I readied my weapon, preparing to unleash my vampire ability on the beast. Let's see if my vampire charm can work its magic on this oversized bloodsucker. Domain of Unholy Flame, I said as I activated one of my overpowered ability. The Domain of Unholy Flame is a fearsome combination of the Domain of Wrath and the Domain of Fire. One of its abilities is to increase attack damage and critical damage against powerful enemies. As the flames licked at the creature's skin, it let out a deafening roar of pain and fury, thrashing wildly as it struggled to escape the inferno. But try as it might, the boss was no match for the relentless onslaught of my dark magic. Looks like things are heating up, I quipped, unable to resist a little wordplay as I watched the creature's health bar steadily decrease. With each passing moment, the flames grew hotter and more intense, reducing the once formidable boss to little more than a smoldering heap of charred flesh and bone. And as the last embers flickered and died, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction knowing that my abilities had helped secure our victory. Guess you could say that boss just got roasted. Tilde tilde tilde. In my patron, gaming arc in high school, the XD arc ended and Demon Slayer arc just started. Give me your opinion and criticism about the chapter. I can only improve my story if you point out what is wrong and what is needed to change. And leave at least one comment and review if you like my fanfic. In my Patreon, this volume is over. You can join my Patreon for $3. See you. More than 100 plus advanced chapters posted. You won't regret joining. All the images can only seen in my Patreon as I can't upload it in Scribble Hub. In my Patreon, this volume and high school the XD arc is over and MC is a Demon Slayer. You can join my Patreon for $3. Overlord, the multiverse by Black_Bolt. 1.6K 362. After hours of intense battle, led by our 4 groups, we finally managed to conquer the tomb. It wasn't easy, but with each group playing their part and working together, we were able to swiftly defeat each of the 5 rulers and make our way to the 6th floor, battling numerous undead along the way. Completing the dungeon successfully on our first try was no small feat, and the feeling of accomplishment was palpable among us. As a reward for our efforts, we were granted the world item, the Throne of Kings, for the guild master to sit on. As I settled onto the throne, feeling the weight of responsibility and accomplishment settle upon my shoulders, a familiar voice echoed in my mind. It seems like you're doing well in my absence, my dear. Death's voice rang through my consciousness. I couldn't help but smile at the sound of her voice, despite the seriousness of the moment. Ah, Death, my love, I replied mentally, feeling a sense of warmth and comfort wash over me at her presence, even if it was only in my mind. It's been too long since we last spoke, I continued, I've missed you. Death's voice held a hint of amusement as she responded, time moves differently for us, my dear. But rest assured, I've been watching over you. It seems like you've made quite a few friends, she said as I looked at my guildmates. I smiled as I watched my guildmates interacting with each other, their camaraderie evident in the way they joked and laughed together. Yes, they're quite the lively bunch, I replied, a sense of pride swelling within me. They've become like family to me. Death's voice held a note of warmth as she responded, it warms my heart to see you surrounded by such good company, my dear. Friendship is a precious gift, one that should be cherished. I nodded in agreement, feeling grateful for the bonds I had formed with my guildmates. Indeed, I'm truly fortunate to have them by my side, I replied, my voice filled with sincerity. And do you have lovers in your realm? Death continued. You wish. Have you seen my physical body? I've even started to cough up blood, and my body is deteriorating because of sulfur poisoning. I'm just a bag of bones now. Appearances mean nothing in the realm of the soul, my dear, she replied, her voice tinged with amusement. It is the essence of a being that truly matters. But if you wish I can make your body healthy again. Nah, I'm fine the way things are right now. I only need to wait a couple more years, then this avatar will become real. Death's laughter resonated through my mind once more, a gentle melody that seemed to soothe my soul. As you wish, my dear. So tell me, is the multiversal system ready? I asked. The multiversal system is ready, my dear, Death replied, her voice echoing in my mind with a hint of excitement. I've been working tirelessly to ensure that everything is in place for your grand adventure. Thank you, my love, I said. Ladies, your future husband is on his way. It's been 3 days since we conquered Nazarick in grand fashion. We've been relishing in the rewards of our victory, and one of the most exciting treasures we've acquired is none other than Nazarick itself. We've been busy exploring every nook and cranny of the tomb, uncovering its secrets and treasures. And to top it all off, we were gifted with the ultimate prize, the Throne of the Kings. The Throne of the Kings is a top-tier item that lets me keep an eye on everything happening in Nazarick. I can even tell if someone's a friend or foe just by glancing at them. Now with the Throne of the Kings in my possession, I've got a total of 4 world-class items, Ouroboros, Abyssal Horn of Infernal Conquest, World Savior, and now this prestigious throne. With all these powerful artifacts at my disposal, I can't help but feel like a true overlord of Nazarick. But, of course, with great power comes great responsibility. And a lot of paperwork. I never thought I'd be spending my days sifting through guild management documents, but here I am, signing off on guild policies and organizing dungeon patrols. Who knew being an overlord would involve so much bureaucracy? But amidst all the administrative work, there's still plenty of fun to be had. We've been hosting epic parties in the Great Tomb, complete with undead DJs and skeleton bartenders. Who said conquering a dungeon had to be all serious business? And let's not forget about the pranks we've been pulling on each other. Albert nearly jumped out of his skin when he found a fake spider in his armor, courtesy of yours truly. It's all in good fun, of course. Daily life in Nazarick. One day, as I was lounging on the Throne of the Kings, Albert sauntered into the room with a mischievous glint in his eye. So, Mr. Guildmaster, got any plans for world domination today? He teased, his tone laced with playful sarcasm. I shot him a mock-serious look. Of course, Albert, first, we conquer Nazarick. Then, the world, I declared dramatically, eliciting a chuckle from him. Ah, I see, and what's next on the agenda after world domination? Maybe redecorating the guild hall with some tasteful curtains and throw pillows. Albert joked, earning a round of laughter from the other guild members who had gathered around. You jest, Albert, but you underestimate the power of interior design. I replied with a grin, playing along with the banter. A well-placed throw pillow can strike fear into the hearts of our enemies like nothing else. As the laughter died down, Blue Planet piped up from his spot nearby. Speaking of enemies, do you think we should be worried about any potential threats to our newfound dominion? He asked, his tone more serious now. I waved off his concern with a dismissive gesture. Nah, we've got the throne of the kings, remember. No one dares challenge us when we've got the power to see everything that happens in Nazarick, I reassured him, trying to lighten the mood once more. But what about those pesky adventurers who keep trying to raid our dungeon? Albert interjected, his brow furrowing in mock concern. Shouldn't we do something about them? I leaned back in the throne, feigning deep contemplation. Perhaps we should send them a fruit basket as a peace offering, I suggested with a grin. Or maybe we could just unleash the undead horde on them again. That seemed to work pretty well last time. Tilda. In my patron, gaming arc in high school, the XD arc ended and Demon Slayer arc just started. Give me your opinion and criticism about the chapter. I can only improve my story if you point out what is wrong and what is needed to change. And leave at least one comment.